and Ravi Kandal here with me, my good friend, my mentor, brother. He is the founder of Kingdom Foundations. And if you found yourself in this group, that's because you're desiring more of the Lord, you're curious about the Lord, or you're really looking for some breakthrough in your life and in your emotions. So um, we're looking forward to today's topic. Every Sunday we go live, we do a little bit of discipleship. We learn what the Lord has been putting before us for the last few weeks. And yeah, we just get to dive in and learn together. So while Ravi tells you hello, I'm going to try to find your comments because I can't see who's on live with us this morning. But as you come on live, say hello to us in the comments, and we'll get the show going here.
Amen. Amen.
So Ravi, you want to tell everybody hello?
Yes. Good morning to you all. Good morning to you, Jessica. But well, happy Mother's Day to you, especially. Yeah. And and everybody who are listening to me. It's good. We had a big mother celebration, and just a lot of friends came last night, and yeah, it's a late night, but it's good. It's good to be around people who, yeah. So it was good. So yeah, it was fun. But it's a beautiful day. I'm excited to see what the Lord is going to do today.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited about today's topic. And which, if for those of you that did not see the post last night, today for Mother's Day, we get a really fun topic, but one that is really something that a lot of us moms could use some healing in. So, and that topic is, let's just take care of and heal up some mom's guilt. So, mom's guilt, or mom guilt, if you see that a lot on Instagram, it's everywhere. People are talking about mom guilt, but mom guilt is basically when a woman feels like she can't do enough for her kids. So and then there's just this simultaneous feeling of overwhelm. So I can't do enough, but I'm already doing more than I can handle.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna dive into some of that today. And even if you're a gentleman joining us, or if you're a woman that is not in the immediate care of children, there's so much healing here for all of us, because we all deal with this guilt, and we all deal with at times this feeling that I'm not doing enough for the people that we love. So go ahead, say hello to us. We always start Sunday mornings with a question and answer session. So if you have a question for Ravi, it does not have to pertain to this topic. Go ahead and put that in the comments, and then we'll choose one or two of those questions to dive into. And Ravi goes ahead and gives his wisdom on that, the Lord's wisdom. And usually that takes us straight into the topic of the day. So I see Jackie's here, Sarah's here. Hi, ladies, and Nikki, Linda, Tara, and Becca are all here. So good to see you, ladies. If you have experienced mom guilt before, I want you to tell us in the comments. Yes, this has been me. Or you can even add, if you want bonus points that you don't get to trade in for anything, then go ahead and put in the comments, describe it for us, because we'd love to hear what, in your words, that feeling is. I was telling Ravi yesterday that I don't think I really struggle with mom guilt anymore. I used to struggle really badly. Someone asked me, how in the world do I travel and do the weekends away for work when I have kids at home? And I thought, I mean, my husband does such a great job. He's such a good dad. I don't worry. They have more fun without me. To be honest, he's the fun one. So, and then when Ravi and I got to talking through the topic, I was like, oh, I really do actually feel some of this. And I'm excited for the healing for myself today too, in those areas where you can just sometimes feel like there's more more ways that you can show up for your people that you love. So all right. Well, as you're putting on your questions, we'll get situated for the day. I do have sometimes questions that come in off screen, but I really like to answer your live questions first if those come up. But I'm going to pull up here some of the questions that we've gotten on posts and other things like that, so that if you all don't have questions, then we'll go to these. Good morning, Pam. It's good to see you. I can't find the note with all the questions. I usually have it really handy. Sorry, guys. I don't see any questions coming in either here, Ravi.
All right.
Here we go. I found my note with the questions that have come in. Do you want to address one of the questions that's come in like emails or online?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So here we go. So Ravi, why do I have obsessive thoughts about my appearance? So body or weight, and how do I get past them?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, sometimes obsessiveness, instead of using the word obsessiveness, I'm uh, anxious about, because it's about anxiousness because you're projecting self or rejection already.
What does that mean? I don't think I understand.
Projecting self, that means when I'm feeling I don't like, it's the question is why become obsessive over my weight and height and all of that, right? The looks and everything. What's happening is, in that area, I'm projecting. What did I just say? Just a few seconds ago.
You said that, sorry, I was writing the question in the comments. You said that you're projecting rejection. Is that?
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, it's like, I want to say this. I'll say this. When we obsess about something to something that's not working or trying to work it out. Matter of fact, it's where, can I be honest here?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We tend to hate what we don't, what feels like we're not connecting something. When we're not connecting something, we disregard or we don't like.
So what would we not be connecting to?
The connecting is, we put ourselves to an image that we want, and when we come to the image that we want and compare that image to something that we don't want, we start hating this image. This is self. This is image, present now, and there's the future. Okay, we put ourselves here and we put ourselves there, and we compare this to this. we we somehow don't like what this is, and we take offense of why this is here, and how can I make it happen? Because offense always offense always creates a offense always preserves the present to future.
Offense preserves present to future.
Yeah, that's a part of offense. But faith brings future now. Faith preserves what is, well, faith creates what is tomorrow for today. It heals. It heals present. That means he heals me now to bring the present, bring the future now. It heals me now. He heals the present now to bring the future. Come on, with offense, it preserves what we are now, the future. Am I making sense?
I don't know that I'm fully understanding it. So maybe I could process out loud for a second and you can tell me.
Yeah.
So when we have an offense, or we are looking to the future, we're looking to a different image of ourselves. So we're saying, this is the preferred way I should look.
Mhm.
When we're saying, well, this is how I should look, then we're placing a judgment upon how we do look.
Should, right?
So
It's
a should, okay. So
it's
then
yeah. It's when you
that's where we stay.
yeah, that's where we stay. And when we put a should, we are already put an offense there with an expectation of what we are now. So
Okay.
means an expectation is what? Premeditated resentment,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you're putting expectation here, you're you're putting offense already in the now.
Mm-hmm.
Putting the curse of what is it's a curse. Resentment is a curse. Resentment is an expectation that we cannot fulfill. Uh, that means it rejects connection between growth, change, and hatedness. Because resentment is hatedness. Do you get the
Mm.
point? So when you hate something, you somehow you whether you like it or not, psychologically you accepted its consequences already.
So you join with the judgment.
Exactly. So
Well,
when you
when you have hatred, you join with a judgment.
yes, so when you start hating and you start having the resentment against hating this, that's self, that's now through what you already accepted uh, or what expected, and you that expectation creates this hatredness that we have, and we follow the instructions of what we expected, and when we follow expectation of what is instructed, we will constantly fail.
Mm.
So we're building on what we can't, and building the resentment and the beliefs and the experiences of that into the present. So we're growing more and more and more of the hatredness and resentment in the present now. But with Jesus, we're saying, Lord, I want to be the image of you.
Mm.
Because what happens in your past, what happens in your resentment is your past experience. Come on, resentment is past experience. But when I'm accepting the identity of Jesus, what he's saying is he's giving me the mind of his in the future.
Hmm.
So when I'm putting myself in the mind of Jesus, he says, I know your thoughts. I know my thoughts on you. My thoughts on you are good, are good, and they benefit you. You see the point? They benefit
Mm-hmm.
you through me, because that means I'm connecting, because when he speaks about a thought, he's already doing it. Come on,
Mm.
because faith is a present into future. That means I'm gleaning from the wisdom that's already placed. I'm gleaning the beauty that's already placed.
Mm.
Gleaning because that light is shining on me. You see the point? So when I'm shining from Jesus, I don't require to be approved by me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already approved by emotions of mine that is accepted by Jesus. Because today I'm I'm, I'm going to talk about this is the topic that we're going to talk, because we humans want to be accepted, heard, acknowledged,
Mm-hmm.
right? Accepted, heard, acknowledged, and we put an image in these three areas: accepted, heard, acknowledged, and we put that these three are the ones which creates a personality.
Okay. You
And
like a mindset?
yes, it is a mindset. It creates not only the mindset, it also creates a identity of, because identity is not just who I am. What is that I'm projecting myself in the future is identity. Get the point?
Identity is projecting myself into the future.
Future into what I want to be.
Okay.
Never saw that until today morning.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I've never, because
uh,
usually I would think of the identity as who we believe we are.
that's what we think. That's what we think. But it's who we are is a projection of internally. There's an image that we place ourselves that what we want to be, what we want to be. Come on, what we going to
So what we value.
yes, what we value. That means we are putting ourselves in the future, and that's what I want to be. That's who I am.
Hmm.
Identity. So when I say this is who I am, I'm automatically going into the future. This is what I want to be.
Hmm.
You see the point? It's just crazy. It blew my mind to the morning. It's like, I mean, I couldn't sleep after 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, but after that I couldn't sleep because it was so like it rocked my life, right? So because we are humans who want that acceptance, acknowledged, and then those three things: acceptance, acknowledge, and what
Heard.
heard.
Yeah.
And when I put myself there, I I am I'm I'm creating this atmosphere that what I am, what I project myself. It's a need, it's a value, it's a belief, it's an emotion, it's a it's the progression of what I want to be, and that is what becomes a guide.
Hmm.
You see, that
That's good.
becomes a guide to me. But 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 the good thing about this is we all have phases. We human beings all phases. We have phases to create our own identity
Mm.
because every
So
phase
there are phases that build us into who we become,
exactly
who we
because
value to be.
yeah, every phase is so different, totally different. Like until adult until childhood days, our identity is different. Like when you become a teenager, our identity is different, and we become responsible person, identity is different, and we become married to somebody, it's our identity is different. When you become a parent, our identity is different. So we keep on changing our identity because that's called human being.
That's called
Yeah,
what?
human being. We
Human.
revolve into new things.
So the Lord, I mean, I've heard you talk about this before, right? When you're ready to be placed into a new season, usually the Lord gives you new responsibility,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
because he's looking to grow what that responsibility will grow in you. So
Yes.
what you just described was a progression through more and more responsibilities.
Amen. Yeah.
And responsibility, not as in, I feel like I should clarify this that are new to listening to Ravi. Responsibility in this group is a very positive thing.
Yeah.
It's something like for me, my responsibilities in this season are the work of the Lord in this ministry. My children homeschooling, like their responsibilities, they're good. They're not drains. They're the things that God has given us to experience Him in the daily.
Yeah. Simple
Uh,
words to say: strength building.
Strength building. Yes, great way to put
Yeah. It's not. It's not burden building. It's strength building.
it. Hmm.
Right. So it's beautiful. I love what God's doing. I mean, it's a fascinating thing, Nana. So yeah, that's the answer. So to heal that, to heal the obsession of what I want to be, is change what he the two things I've noticed it in my own self and in so many coaching that. So what happens here is we start acknowledging acknowledging that I've been heard by what I can be for Jesus because he trusted me. Number one,
Hmm.
because he trusted me, I don't need who I want to become because that is a thriving. Who I want to become because it's me. Because I cannot I cannot I cannot drag I cannot drag a mountain. I cannot. No matter that means my image is a mountain. I am meant to. I'm meant to push the mountain. I'm meant to speak in the mountain. I'm meant to declare the mountain to be in to be not to be an obstacle,
Mm-hmm.
right? And declare that to be a space that God can visit me in that space of mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So I will I will go after God so much so that He gives me oh, He gives me that revelation that He trusted me before I trusted Him. Mhm.
Mm.
You see,
Yeah.
so that is a key. That is a key. Number one, there are only two beautiful, uh, beautiful points of the whole teaching is right here. I'm already started. I'm already preaching, and I'm already done.
I have a question that's come in before you get too far. It's
Okay,
important. I think we should answer it.
I'll stop here. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Michael asks, so what if the responsibilities have been removed from you? So like loss of jobs or excuse me, broken relationships.
Yeah. Well, when certain things happen to our lives, it's not accidental, it's providential.
Providential.
Yeah. Because when you lose something, you're provided something.
Uh,
When we start searching in what we lost, we won't get anything. Come on. When we search for what is lost, that means the search for what we can't gain it back, you there is no end to it.
mm-hmm.
You can't find it. What is lost is permanently taken, right? But when we search for what is possible, because we are meant to be possible creators,
Mm-hmm.
possibility creators as Christians. We're not meant to be lost Christians.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to somebody yesterday. Can I say this?
I hope. Go for it.
Because it's this people who don't know Jesus are hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes religion, sometimes not sometimes, all times, it's lost. They are the most confused people you can get. Why? They seek they seek what they cannot find.
Mm.
They seek self. They don't seek the other aspect of if I say this, today's message is done. So I'll wait. Uh, yeah,
Oh no, you can't leave us hanging.
promise you. So
Hey,
so
just explain it.
my goal is when something is taken away, when something is taken away, our search for something that has been taken away is humanistic of humanistic where we start feeling guilty about it. When you start feeling guilty about this process of grieving, you got to be cautious with grieving because there's a fine line between grieving and judgment.
Mm-hmm.
I should have been there. I should have done more. I could have done more. Uh, I could have said more. I could have heard more. What if I could have done it more? So I could have saved. I could have, and I could have been there. So when we process this with I could have, could have, it the more we stay there and start searching for what we want to be accepted, because ultimately what we lost gave us acceptance,
Mm.
right? So so when we lose what is not what we felt safe around what we are accepted in, we start putting ourselves in a guilt form.
Mm.
Right? It starts with guilt. Then guilt is such a cunning instrument that enemy used to 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 counterfeit compassion.
Mm. What do you mean? How does it counterfeit compassion?
I- Counterfeit compassion is guilt. It feels compassionate, like, oh, like it feels like it's okay for us to be in the space of loss. It's okay, and it's not okay. We don't want to be in religion, which tends to feel compassionate. It
Hmm.
tends to feel that, what I call, feeling merciful, feeling, I don't know English word for that. It's just, it's we're trying, yeah, we're trying to numb ourselves with asking questions of I could have. It's really numbing, but that there are two stages of numbing. First numbing, that's a good word. The first numbing is saying, talk about what I could be doing, or what I could have done. Then
Hmm.
once we start that numbing, and the more we talk about it, the more we don't like what we lost.
Mm.
That means we become resentful later, saying, from I could have been to he should have called me. You should have done that. That person didn't do what I was supposed to. We
Mm.
become angry on what was lost. That,
So we kind of move from guilt to grief to blame.
oh, good job. Yes, yes, yeah. That's what, like, Jessica. Yeah. What did you say? From what?
We move from grief to guilt to blame.
Good job. Yeah, because blame is a personality. Mhm. It's a negative personality.
Hmm.
It it acquires it acquires it gives permission to loneliness, and never meet the needs of what I want from another road. There's there's always a pathway for us to choose good and bad tree of life.
So Ravi, I'm trying to make a connection between kind of what you're talking about and a practical experience and an everyday experience. So with mom guilt, what are we grieving?
Well, what what we're grieving is, in this same space that we are losing, is, this is a good question, uh, is because, oh, super, thank you, Lord. I was so anxious today. I think, because how am I going to talk about this? Yeah, the questions really help me. Thank you. Is, in this, there are two ways, right? There's one path that I'm going to talk about. There's one path of losing something, according to same question of Michael. As I said before, we humans are revolving machines, revolving assets for God. I love it. We are revolving assets for God, right? So when we revolve, we are changing our personality to fit to the new world that we're coming into.
Hmm. And when you say personality, you're talking about the way we think, the
Yes,
way we behave, the way we feel. So you're
yes,
okay.
yeah. Our values, our beliefs, right? Our personality. That includes our personality, our values, our beliefs, emotions, and behaviors of what we gain from the experiences of our past. So
Okay.
that's called identity, right?
So
That's
it would
personality.
make sense if we're constantly evolving because we're constantly having new experiences that feed how we think about something, how we feel, how we behave, all of those things.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah. So when we come to a place where everything's revolving, we become we become subjected to what, when we come into a new world, we become subject to what we could do better, right?
Okay.
We start thinking about what can I do now, not now and do it better than what we were before.
Okay.
You see, so we try to. That means we're bringing our past to your future. We're bringing the past to the present. We're trying to. That means we're trying to fit our past into present. Uh, and so when we become, it's crazy. When you fascinating because when you get married, you're 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 recognizing that the personality of independency is hit.
Hmm.
You're
Which would be the same for moms too, right? When it's
yeah,
another level of independency is removed.
yeah, it is because my way of thinking, my way of having coffee, my way of this is actually compromised.
Hmm.
So when when I start when I start thinking about it's good to dream, but when the reality hits, the first 2 years, our personality changes. The first 2 years are so important. The first year, I call it as a season of defending defending my identity, defending my identity of self. That means my uh, my my independence. Uh, my independence is somehow defends, somehow protects itself. Like it wants to be protected. But in 1 year, we identify how much we love our independence.
Hmm.
We're recognizing the power of independence. And the second year is we give up the independence.
Hmm.
So we survive in 2 years, we live forever.
Well, that's good news. I did survive the first 2 years.
Yeah. When we start fighting, when we learn how to preserve and try to hide it and live marriage with it, that what is hidden or or feel resented to it, this road, uh, what happens is you you put hatredness here,
Mm.
right? So the question to the answer is when you put hatredness in what you are losing, you're bringing this into the future also, into the present also. So we are grieving, we're not we're not grateful.
Mm. So we place judgment on our past experience, and by placing judgment there, we're actually giving because our mind is constantly looking to not under faith. Our mind is constantly looking to protect us or reproduce what happened in our past.
That's
So
it.
protect us from or reproduce in. So in this situation that you're talking about,
Yeah.
grieving our independence.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, and it's not necessarily that we don't love where we are or what we're going into, but our mind is trying to recreate our independence and it needs new experiences.
Yeah.
But we need to pair it with gratitude so that we're not judging our past, our should have. I could have done this when I was younger. I could have done this when I was single. Now it's too hard to do this.
Yeah.
All of those kinds of things. Is that what you're?
Yeah, it's an expectation that we put ourselves in a place where I will do it better.
Do it better.
I'll do it better in my marriage. I'll do better when I'm married. I'll do better. When I'm this, I'll do better. That means you put already a personality that you can achieve.
Hmm.
Rather say, I'm going to learn organically because
Okay.
the funny part, the good point of guilt is, what are three things you said? What moves from this to this?
We went from grief to guilt to blame.
Good. So grief. Sorry, say it again.
Grief into guilt into blame.
Right? Grief, guilt, and blame. So it always starts with grief, right? So so grief is good. Grief rejoices what grief should be rejoicing over what has been given.
Mm.
When we when you put that grief to uh, bring that grief to uh, bring the grief to guilt, that's where you are allowing insufficiency.
Mm.
When that insufficiency takes over, you start hating, blaming. So guilt is always about insufficiency. That's a good one.
Insufficiency.
But what happens is to because in every season we come after, we are projecting, we don't know what would look like to be. For example, my daughter is going to be, my 28 years old daughter, she's going to be she's pregnant now, and she's going to give birth to a baby. If she's listening, this is good for you. I'm just kidding. Because becoming a mother, uh, uh, becoming a mother is getting into new personality.
Mm-hmm.
You're you have you noticed, I don't know, people say it, you become a different person after you become a mother. You become a different person when you got married to this crazy guy. You're a different person now. I mean, why? I don't know why. Is you're no more soft person, you're no more a listening person, you're no more this, you no more that. Because the reason, it is true, we become a different person because what we were is different than us, because our expectation our expectation is changed from where we were before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means we're trying to fit this here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when your grieving to goes to guilt, feel powerless. Come on. So when
So,
you
as you're saying that, so you were saying like that
uh-huh.
grief should be, I forget how you said, oh, rejoices over what's been given. So
Hmm.
if we're in grief,
Hmm.
then we're searching for comfort that comes from gratitude,
Hmm. Exactly. Good job.
celebrates what
Yeah.
we had before. But
Yeah.
if we move into judgment in the place of grief, then we've taken a step over the line into guilt.
Yeah. So in other words, what you're saying, what you're saying is, even though it's comfort, but the problem with comfort is it we make it an idol.
Mm.
When you make it an idol, we become guilty that you could have done something more to the idol that we have, or we could have. It is my fault. I should have done it. Right? It's my thing. So with the motherhood, when we come into when you come into a relationship with becoming a mother,
Hmm.
try to better motherhood from the experience of the past.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. Yeah, because immediately when you become a mother, we immediately want to do better, saying, I don't want to raise my child the way I was raised before.
Mm.
We go back to emotions of my childhood days. We go back to behaviors, that things that we put ourselves into. But the problem is, we have we have hated this. We already hated this. I'd rather say, I'm grateful that happened to me, so that I who I am now is not that.
Who I am now is not then.
Yeah. I'm not now. I'm not who I was then. I've been revolved. I've been staged. I've been processed stages to stages. So who I was 10 years ago, who I'm not now. My thinking has changed. I have more patience now. I have more self control. I have more. Uh, I'm more lovable. I'm more uh, graceful. I'm more compassionate, because I was not then. So the first fact is, understand, I've revolved to something new.
Mm.
My
Well, maybe I need help with the connections. What are we thinking that we thought in the past? Uh, uh,
yeah,
take the example of motherhood.
yeah,
What are we thinking from what are we thinking from that place of childhood into now?
yeah. Well, we compare ourselves immediately as a mother. I'm reading, been through so many mothers and so many coaching sessions, and 722 books that I read. I don't know how I read it.
Yeah.
So so the first thing the mother does, it compares her experience of her childhood days first.
As a child, or as like we compare what we felt like as a child,
Yes. Yes.
not the lack of our parents. We're comparing what we felt.
Yes. What we felt in our childhood days. So when we start feeling what we felt as a child,
Mhm.
we start comparing what we felt to what I want to do better. That means you're bringing grief, guilt, hatredness to your present circumstances.
Mm.
So that means you're disconnecting, you're disconnecting what, this is beautiful, what your child is giving to you. Seriously, when in the beginning I said we humans like to be, what are those three things? We
Acknowledged,
heard,
accepted, and heard.
yes.
Is that
So
right?
yes, those three things. When Jesus gives us a a gift, he's giving us strength building responsibility.
Mhm.
Come on, come on, come on. This is so good. So when Jesus gave me a responsibility, the responsibility is building is building my faith, my joy, my love that God gave me to increase in it. Come on. I am a tree that needs to, that's producing, whether I like it or not, called fruits.
Mm.
So when I'm given a baby, I have already heard by my son and my daughter. I've been heard, I've been accepted, I've been, that means my thoughts, my ideas, my feelings is coming from my child, not from my past.
So then the reverse would be true. And why we get impatient is we feel like our kids aren't listening to us. So we're frustrated as if we were ignored as a child,
Mm-hmm.
but our children are in their own world. It feels like the same ignoring, not being heard from childhood. So that's when we move into impatience.
Yeah, exactly. We put expectation of what we did not get,
Okay.
punish ourselves to have our kids to be what I did not get. That means when I become impatient, I'm bringing my past. Rather say, you know what, God gave me to feel his love. Here's the secret. The secret is, the first one is, what was the first point I said? I need my brain. I forget.
Accepted, acknowledged, and
Yeah,
heard.
those three things. But in the beginning, I said there was that relationship where God trusts me. The secret of, the first
Yeah.
thing that I understood is, the secret is to get away from grief, guilt, and hatredness, is recognize that trusts me into this new season, right?
Mhm.
Number two, biggest aspect of life that I've learned and help people break from their bondage is, I love people.
Mm.
I love human beings, and I will be there, acknowledge them, that love that God put me in them. I am living in the present compassion. I'm living in present acceptance. I'm
Mm.
living in present heard. I'm giving my child what they want. Even if I'm not there, they already received it from me. They already know they received from me. Even though I'm far away teaching and preaching and doing all of that for 3 4 days or 1 week or 5 days, when I come, I'm still connected. I'm still connected. But
Mhm.
what guilt does is, it puts this throws a rock right to your nose, saying, "Oh, you're not supposed to be there, leaving your children." no, you're not supposed to be. How did you? You know what I mean? No, it's not. It's not the rock. It's the flowers that I bring myself to my kids. It's the things that I want to celebrate my kids, which I'm already connected, even though I'm far away. So my point is saying that I'm already been accepted. I'm already heard. I'm already what? Accepted, heard, acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already that because God put those three things in my child.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already done it. I'm already, because my love to Jesus is my love to people. My love to Jesus is to love my people. I'm already, because I love him, I'm connected to him. Because I'm connected to him, no matter whenever I go, he's already accepted me, already heard, already acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm doing this, I'm already doing this.
So
One,
what does it look like to put that in, put that in Jesus?
it's the same thing. I'm already acknowledged. I'm already heard. I'm
Like
already
thinking
accepted by
those
Jesus.
thoughts.
What's that?
It looks like thinking those thoughts.
Yes, thinking those thoughts of saying, Dad, you gave me this responsibility to preach. For example, me to preach this gospel, to preach this teaching, to preach. That means I'm already acknowledged by He trusting me to teach this teaching. So I don't have anxiousness to say, I need to say these sort of things. I need to say these words. I need to memorize this vocabulary. No, He will give me as a resolve. He will give ideas to Jessica to help me out. I mean, there's already place of God saying, I've placed those help, I've placed those resources, I've placed this ideas because I'm in love with what's happening now. Ideas are created, thoughts are established, feelings are flying in the air around me atmospherically. I become rejoiceful, not resentful.
Mm,
I
that's good.
become joyful. Motherhood is a place where we grow exponentially. Motherhood or parenthood gives me this what I call uh, 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 what I call Naman experience. I give away grief, guilt, and hatredness. That leprosy, that leprosy. I dip myself 7 times. Uh, that 7 times dipping is this. I can't do this. I won't do this. I will never. You're dipping all of this. I should. I shouldn't. And giving up all of this to say I've already created a lifestyle for you, Ravi. I've
Mm-hmm.
already provided for you through your kids, through your husband, through your people. Accept them, accept them as I put love in them, and feel it,
Mm-hmm.
experience. Let that show forth, rather than put an expectation of what you did not get to what you want from it. Rather,
Yeah.
unravel that expectation, undo that expectation, because I don't live in what you experienced. I live in what you did not experience.
Mm-hmm.
You see the point? I mean, next week we'll talk more on imagination. That's a powerful. God gave us that gift of imagination. I'll talk about how, why, who, and all of that. Just crazy teaching today morning. Usually, he gives me the day before, or on the day. For example, today he gave me the week before. So you should be all proud of me now.
Yeah.
Important too. So yes. So as a mother, Nana, as a mother today, celebrating the idea, saying, idea saying the Lord is healing these three things today, whether you like it or not. You like it or not, that's healing you. If you're listening to me, these three things are getting healed: grief, guilt,
Blame.
blame. Thanks.
You've been
Grief
saying hatred.
and
Yeah.
blame. This is a mindset of punishment.
Mm-hmm.
There is no life around punishment, but there's a life in giving permission. There's this road that we choose to say, today, I've been accepted, I've been heard, I've been acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
Or you accepted me acknowledged me. I heard you. You heard me. What I want to be like you.
Mhm.
My image is you. So
Mhm.
either either I spread that light or reflected by the light. Either way works because I'm the light. I'm also the light placed by Jesus.
Mhm.
Right? Either I reflect it, I become it, or reflect it. Reflect it. I become or reflect. So every day you're channeling what I want to do now, rather than feeling 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 grieved over what I should have been before,
Mm.
right? What I should have done, what should have heard, because society likes to blame,
Mhm.
likes to blame through through something called social media. They put this
Yeah.
right images saying beautiful mother, and she has 8 kids and she's doing amazing. Like how can I do? How does she do 8 kids? I just one kid. You know what I mean? Oh, she has 12 kids. Oh, she has 50 kids. How did she do that? And
Yeah.
look at where she is. She's in Hawaii. How could she do it? 50 kids. you know uh, I've heard so many people saying that. My good friend Tammy, she has this 50 kids. She is, but she goes to this crazy occasions, like how does she do it? And the point in saying that is what she does is what we couldn't do. Mm-mm. That means I'm comparing to all these images every single day that's popping up to experience what they have. No, I am meant to experience what Jesus has for me, to be accepted now, to be heard now, to be acknowledged now.
Mhm.
My love to God is love people, whether it be my kids, whether it be my wife, my husband. Uh, I'm accepted there because he's he's trusted me to become a mother, a father. Even though I'm not there sometimes,
Mhm.
I'm still connected. Even though
Yeah.
my kids are all the way in India, all the way in India, I'm still connected to them. They cannot sleep, not a day passes to them, knowing that my dad thinks about me.
Mhm.
And I can ask them again. I'll ask them again. Do you sleep? No, but every time I talk to them, like almost 3 times, 4 times a day, 4 times a week, we get to talk to somebody. But they know uh, that I'm already connected to them.
Mhm.
I know I'm already connected to them. This is the point. And connection, no matter where physically I'm separated, I'm still in their lives.
Mhm.
Power of faith. That's the power of
The
Jesus.
Lord still trusts you there as their father.
Yeah, yeah. And dad would never say no. If he says no, he has reasons. Yeah.
Mhm.
My daughter just talking today. She has this. We're going to have well, my not today, but another daughter. She's my one daughter who, anyways, she no, I was going to say something I shouldn't say, but and no one should have favorite, but I have some. So but she says, Dad, you're coming to the hospital. Uh, so if the hospital doesn't have beds, what are you going to do? She knows what I'm going to do, and she expectation, Dad, don't take me to Baptist hospital. There's a hospital that no one should go to, but. This is this crazy, honey. Do you think your dad would do it? It's like, oh, I know. You know what I mean? That is. She's already counted, because if she's not counted, she knows that dad would not bring me there. But even though she doesn't know, because am I making sense? She knows what is going to happen with my dad. He's already established my day of giving birth will be celebrated
Mhm.
no matter what, no matter what, right? So as a mother, guys, as a mother, as you're celebrating today, remember, you're already accepted, you're already heard, and you're already acknowledged. Jesus did that. Jesus did that today. And that that today healed you from grief.
Guilt and blame. It's good.
Amen. I
Yeah.
hope I helped today. I hope I was helped.
Yeah, it's good. I think we want to pray for people, but one of the things I think that for me, the takeaway today was just this idea that, sometimes you hear something and a light shines where you're like, oh, that one's for me. It's highlighted. But is just this idea that when the Lord gave me this responsibility of my children as a mom, I'm speaking from that place because that's where I am. It might be a job. It might be something different for you. You might be a dad, or you might be a business leader, but that when the Lord gave you that responsibility, he already trusted you before you trusted yourself in that place. And so even though there's the experience of gaining new experiences and progressing into the future, that we can acknowledge and rest in the fact that he trusted us before we even trusted ourselves, and that in that place there's joy. We are accepted, we are heard, and we are acknowledged. So it's good. If that hit for you guys, definitely tell us in the comments. I did see that people have been going back and forth, and quicking, Nikki said, Lord, quicken my discernment and understanding in my emotions so that I can surrender the unhealed parts and walk in the identity you gave me. So good job. It's good. Well, Ravi, will you pray for everybody before I tell people what is coming up in the next couple of weeks?
Why don't you pray, Nana? Why don't you pray, please?
Sure. A pleasure. So Jesus, thank you for the opportunity to celebrate today. And we celebrate the trust that you've placed in each of us, in the places of responsibility that you've given us to grow and experience you more, Jesus. So would you turn our hearts, turn our minds and our thoughts to draw from your emotions, from your thoughts, and from what you believe.
Mm.
Would you grow in us the belief that we love people, that I love people?
Mm. Mm.
I just speak peace over the anxiety that I'm not doing it right, or I could be doing more, or I should be doing more. We just speak peace over that place now, Jesus.
Mm. Yes, Daddy.
And we welcome you to impact those places and those thoughts, Lord, with acceptance, hearing, and acknowledgement. So thank you for the people that join us to grow each week. Jesus, we bless them today. And we welcome you to impact them and to continue to grow the healing that you've done this week. So we pray these things in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Good.
Well, I'm proud of you all to listen to what happened today. Yeah, and healing is guaranteed, accepted, acknowledged, and heard. Yeah. So there's so much that I gave you 3 hours of. Well, I can write 2 books out of it.
Yeah.
I gave you so much in this. So hear it from the scriptures. Listen to the scriptures. Allow scriptures to work to this teaching. Yeah, allow. And I would, if I were you, and I'm going to do this. That I'm gonna go to the Bible and put some scriptures to it, and allow that scriptures talk to me more. Yeah, it is all about this word. Yeah, we've been accepted, acknowledged, heard. Here.
Yeah.
So,
That's
amen.
good.
Thank you.
Good. Well, if you would like to join Ravi in a retreat experience, there's actually a gatekeepers retreat coming up next weekend. And having sit on the sidelines for one of the men's retreats to do some admin and some things like that, I would say that I would jump if I was you to go to an event with Keith and Ravi and get that experience of that one-on-one or the small group experience where you really get challenged to grow deeply. So a lot of growth is going to happen, a lot of healing and breakthrough.
Mm.
That's in Giddings, Texas, this coming weekend. So Friday, which I can't remember the date, but this coming Friday through Sunday in Texas. It's near Austin, Texas, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
join them there. And then the following weekend, we are in Scottsdale, Arizona again. We're going to be bringing relationship intelligence for business leaders, but it's
Yeah.
called disruptive thinking. So if you want to come and learn the transformational thinking of empowered thinking, and you want some tools to understand people, understand yourself, and bring the uncommon wisdom of the Lord into your sphere of influence, then that conference is for you. So it's a very limited number of guests, but all of these events can be found on the events page of Kingdom Foundations. We'll put the link in the comments. But come join us on site. We really love to see you, and a lot of growth, a lot of healing that happens in those events. So all right. Well, we celebrate the moms in the group, and we're not just talking about the ones that have physically born life, but I know I have so many moms in my life that were spiritual moms or that have just come alongside to build me up. So let's just celebrate all the women and the people that in our lives that have nurtured us and grown us. So thank you all, and we'll see you next week. Apparently, we're going to dive into imagination, and I'm excited. We'll see you then, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, and if you want prayer this week, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard on Wednesday. Linda will be back on Wednesday with somebody of another person on our team, and she's going to pray and dig into some healing with you guys. So bring your prayer requests. All right, we'll see you all again next week. Goodbye.
Thank you.